Now the Nelson County High School Band, under direction of Mr. Damien King, will perform our national anthem.
Well, it is a beautiful night here in Bardstown. This is Matt Calvert, along with Darren Douglas and our engineers Sam Smith and Gloria McLean, as the Woodford County Yellow Jackets and Nelson County Cardinals go at it here tonight. The series all tied up at 2 apiece. And Darren, last year these two teams met over in Woodford County, and we didn't get through much into the third quarter before we had some lightning halt the game with this Nelson County team ahead 19-7. I think Nelson County came out and scored very early in the second half, and then made it 19-7. That's the way the score ended.
Yeah, it was one of those nights where we had all kinds of weather in the area in central Kentucky, and lightning mostly, not a lot of rain, but mostly lightning. And I was basically over there. If people remember, it was the Governor's Bowl. Actually, it was the first game of the year, not the fifth game of the year. And we wound up losing that ball game after, I think, about 2 or 3 minutes of the second half. But I was over there talking with the Nelson County coaches and caught up with a guy that I knew from Georgetown College. Actually, he's quite a bit younger than me, but our connection with Georgetown College, we got to share some stories. And Hunter Ballard, the offensive line coach over here, and I'm not sure if he's still with them or not. I don't see him on the sidelines, but that doesn't mean he's not somewhere in the neighborhood. But this has been a really good series, Mac, with Nelson County, and can't understand why we hadn't played each other long before last night, or 4 years ago, I should say, last night. You have to forgive me here. It's been a long day.
Actually, these games have not been very close. Woodford County won the first two, and this new field with the artificial surface, and I guess the refurbished stands, Woodford County came in to inaugurate that 4 years ago and beat Nelson County on their home turf 42-21. Nelson went over to Versailles the next year, and Woodford County beat them pretty good again, 42-27. But I tell you, Darren, last time we were here, it was a bloodbath in the first half. Nelson County piled up 34 points in the first half, could have had more, and went on to trounce us 41-12.
Yeah, and young man by the name of Dylan Beasley that night for Nelson County was the quarterback. He's now the starting quarterback at Lindsey Wilson. I saw him play last week against Georgetown in the home opener for the Tigers over there, and I told you he threw 2 touchdown passes. He saw neither one of them completed. Right. He was laying on his back.
One of the big names in Nelson County football history, Dylan Beasley, down at Lindsey Wilson. All right, Nelson County, we think may have won the toss, Darren, but we didn't know Woodford County was receiving. I think Nelson County won the toss. And there's the kick. It's going to go down and hit D-Dep, is going to pick it up around the 10, head off to the left side, and pick up a block. He's to the 30. He's to the 40 and ran out of bounds.
You got to know where you are on the field, D. I know he's trying to pick up his blocks, but knew how close he was getting to the sidelines, and that's why the numbers are there. As soon as you see the numbers, you know you got about another 10 yards before you step out of bounds. He just kept going to the sideline, but another nice return. That probably should have been caught by Trey, though, because it landed right next to him, about 2 or 3 yards to his left.
So Woodford County, 1st and 10 from its 37-yard line. Trey Thurman is the quarterback. Emir Burnaby is the fullback up tight. And deep in the formation at tailback is Devontre Wingfield, Trey Wingfield. Wide receiver is Kane and Richards. And here's a give inside. This is Trey Wingfield. And he gets almost 10 yards on the first carry. A nice surge by the Woodford County offensive line.
Well, nice read as well from Trey there. Just followed his blockers and got low behind his pads. Trey's coming in right now, Mac, with 401 yards rushing on the year on 48 carries. He's averaging 8.2 yards per carry and 9 scores.
And 2 more scores through the air. Here's a first down as Wingfield
right
gets almost to the 50 before he stood up. So Woodford County comes right out and gets a first down. They'll mark his forward progress out to midfield. It's at the Woodford County 50. Darren, set the offensive line for us.
Well, at the center you got Ryan Mix. He's the little fella at 285. Okay? The guards are Kyle Hamlin. He's actually the smallest one on the line at about 255, 260. The other is over here that's Sage Young over there. I'll get the other 2 in a minute.
And we'll mention Stratton is out again with a high ankle sprain. Boy, here's a big burst. Wingfield changes hands. He's at the 20, the 15, the 10, and they can't get him out of bounds. Touchdown, Trey Wingfield.
Well, I'll tell you
he
what.
He fought off the tackle of number 28, Jawan McKnight, one of the Nelson County captains for tonight, who I was just sure was going to force him out at the sideline at the 10-yard line. Trey had enough to actually run through that tackle.
How about 3 carries and 62 yards and his 10th rushing touchdown of the year?
We'll take it.
Not too bad, huh?
Not too bad. So Woodford County strikes first with 10:48 to go in the quarter. And a good sign. As you know, the Jackets have dug some deep early in ball games this year in their losses. The kick is up by Maxton Lippard, and the kick is good. So Woodford County wastes little time, 1:12 on the drive that goes 63 in 3 plays. Is capped by a 50-yard touchdown run by Trey Wingfield. Woodford County 7, Nelson County nothing. We'll be back here on PrepSpin.com. All right, Woodford County will kick off. 7-0 is our score. And to receive this kick at the 20-yard line, looks like number 13 out to the 35, and that would be Cameron Cornish. So Cornish returns about 22 yards, and it'll be 1st and 10 for Nelson County from good field position out at their 35-yard line. They're quarterbacked by Cameron Lavorne. His running back in the one-back set is Nick Boone. His tight ends are Zach Hopper and Bradley Watson. And we'll set the rest in just a moment. 1st and 10 for the Cardinals from their own 35. Shift defensively to the left side for Woodford County. Lavorne fakes. Here's the pitch back. Woodford has him. Woodford County's did with a big gain on first down. We'll call it 8. Second down and 2.
Flank him on either side.
So we have Brian to give off, and this is McMillan. For a loss.
Well, I'll tell you, since he got that cast off of that wrist that he suffered in the preseason, he's starting to play extremely well. And we're starting to see the potential that we had heard he had. He was going to be one of the top receivers in Lexington before transferring to Woodford County here in the fall.
And we will see him run the ball out of the backfield, too. But
as long as Trey and Amir run the ball as well as they are, you try to keep them as fresh as you can.
Cameron Lavorne, 2 receivers sent to the wide side, and boy, it's nothing doing there. That'll be another 2-yard loss as the Woodford County defense swarms it. That was bad ball handling in the backfield, and Woodford County was able to react and get a loss there as McMillan, who's carried every time, was thrown back to his 46. It'll be another loss of 1. So a big third down situation for the Cardinals. Third down and 2 yards to go.
That looked like
they bring McMillan out of the ball game, and
Boone's back in.
In there goes Nick Boone. He'll be the only back in the formation out of the shotgun. Wide receivers in both directions. Here's a blitz coming, and he never saw him. Lavorne never saw Daniel Stork. He just didn't react to him at all. Daniel Stork came right up the middle, and a big quarterback sack by the nose guard.
Well, there's what you were leading to on the way down here. You said, hey, you got Daniel Stork playing nose. Why? So, well, they're going to try to use some athletic ability up front with the nose and flanking with 2 big fellas.
So Stork gets a quarterback sack, and Lavorne never had a chance on that one. Here's the kick coming, and it's from Woodford County will get away with it. That was Zach Hopper on the kick, and the ball will roll dead about the Woodford County 33-yard line. So with 7 minutes and 30 seconds to go in the first quarter, the Woodford County defense comes to life. And as we know, Darren, it's been a tough year for the defense so far. They're giving up 42 points a game.
Yeah, it's one of those where I compare it to Loyola Marymount on either natural grass or in this case the synthetic turf. We're just going to outscore you. Back in the Paul Westhead days, I'm showing my age here. Well, all these young folks turn around and said, Loyola Marymount, they play basketball? Yeah. Hank Gathers. Everybody know who Hank Gathers is in the press box? The guy who passed away about 25 years ago, collapsed on the court. I still get one blank look here, and I'll give everybody a guess of who it is. Not mentioning any.
How about Bo Kimball? Do they know Bo Kimball?
You know Bo Kimball? He's shot the free throw in the first NCAA game the Loyola Marymount played in after Gathers passed away. He shot with his left hand to honor his friend. That's a little bit of history there.
Woodford in the white uniforms tonight with the black helmets and black pants. Nelson County, it looks like they're going to blitz up the middle, and here they come. And the give is to Emir Burnaby. And I believe he's going to dare and get a first down.
Yeah, they're going to give him 11. They're going to give him the 44. I tell you what, if you blitz us the way this line right now is blocking, and there's nothing fancy. There's no trap blocking. There's no double teaming. It's man on man, helmet on a helmet, big fella on big fella. And right now our offensive line is winning that battle up front here in the early part.
So Burnaby gets a first down out to the 44-yard line of the Yellow Jackets. First down and 10. Jackets 7-0 already. Tying in is Jacob Jenkins to the near side, the short side of the field. Give deep, and this is Winkfield.
Nice play defensively there.
On the bottom of that pile, I think it was 38, but I'm not sure. That was Bradley Watson. I also saw Leander Beckley. They were on the ground, and one of them, Darren, tripped him up.
Yeah.
And held him to a 2-yard gain.
But, boy, if they don't make that play, there was a hole.
So it'll be 2nd and 8. Jackets from the 46. As we said, Matt Stratton, Darren, not in there tonight. It's
Right.
Kyle Hamlin on that right side guard next to the right tackle, and that would be Drake Jackson.
Well, I see Stratton is in uniform, though, Mac.
So he might play.
Maybe.
Give off to Winkfield. Good block there by Jalen Washington, but he couldn't get to the outside.
Cut it up.
Nice play there by the co-captain tonight, Jawan McKnight.
Well, as soon as Trey made that little bluff to go in the line and bounce it outside, he had Nelson County defenders on their heels. If he goes ahead and cuts it up after he makes that little cut outside, he's got 4, 5, maybe 6 yards there.
Nelson County wearing the red uniforms tonight. The helmets don't have a cardinal on them this year.
No.
And they're wearing plain white pants, too. Kind of a plain vanilla look, if so to speak. Oh, Thurman just on the quarterback keeper. First down, lots more. Down the left sideline he goes, out of bounds, near the 32-yard line of Nelson County.
Actually, give him the 34, I think, Mac.
That was a great play call there.
Yeah, and that was really not the true zone read. What he did was he just stuck it out there, and I think that was Burnaby. I take it back. That was Winkfield who came by and just kind of half-heartedly gave a fake. That wasn't even a real true zone read. That was just Thurman seeing something on the outside and keeping it himself. Nice play by the quarterback.
D. Depp along the hash marks to the wide side right, and to the other side is Brody McCown. Burnaby and Winkfield in the backfield. The give is to Winkfield. Up the middle he goes, bounces to the outside, 25. He's got a first down. He's to the 15, and that'll be about where he goes, 15-yard line. Tackle was made by Beckley, and it'll be a first down, Woodford County, a 12-yard pickup by Trey Winkfield.
Wow. Like I said, he had 401 coming in. He got all 63 on the ground in the opening drive. And now you're going to give him a little bit more. We got a late flag away from the ball at the
Was that at the end?
17-yard line. I don't know who it came from. I didn't see the linesman here on this side throw the flag, but it's on Woodford again.
Was it a dead ball?
Actually, it's a holding play.
Okay.
Okay.
And it was thrown right at the
feet,
17.
Yeah. Right at the feet of D. Depp.
Okay. So
now he's got to understand. He saw, he understands. All you got to do is get in his way as a receiver. You do not have to lock up with a DB blocking. Just get in his way.
So it ends up being a 6-yard pickup for Winkfield, and then the penalty.
Matter of fact, in the game last night, the NFL game, the Chiefs and Broncos, I don't know who the Bronco receiver was. He turned his back to him, just got his backside between him, just like he was blocking out in basketball.
Here's a crossbuck play, and that's Winkfield. Somebody got him by the jersey and dragged him down. I tell you, somebody reached out a hand and slung him around with the jersey, and he got help. But Winkfield is down to the 21-yard line. That's going to be a first down.
Yeah, well, he is ripping off some big runs right now. Excuse me, Mac. And, we were wondering if this offensive line would accept the challenge of a big line across from on the defensive side of the ball. The first drive plus here in this ball game opened up some huge holes.
All right, it'll be 1st and 10 from the Nelson County 22-yard line. Backs in the I formation. Thurman under center, gives off to Burnaby, slips a tackle. Should have been caught at the line of scrimmage, but he fought through, Darren, the arm tackle of Leander Beckley, and crossed the 20. He's down inside the 20 to the 18-yard line.
Yeah, give him 4, Mac.
Good hard running by Burnaby.
Well, if you don't wrap him up, he's going to drag you for a while.
You got to really, as you said, you got to really wrap him up because he is a tough. He's so low to the ground.
They list him at 5'8". I think that's a stretch. I mean, no. I'm sorry for Amir, but he's not 5'8". He's maybe 5'6", tops.
2 receivers left. Washington is alone in the backfield. They pitch, and there's a reverse coming for D. Depp.
Oh,
he's
man,
inside the 20. And
I don't know what he saw behind the play, but I tell you what. Everybody looked like, everybody got what they wanted, a hat on a hat, but I don't know what the head, man, he got a hole behind the play. Wow.
It was thrown at the 22.
By the man in the white hat.
4 yards behind the line of scrimmage.
He said 55.
56 maybe.
No, he said 55.
I don't see a 55.
Hey, tell him there's no 55 out there. You might want to go back to kindergarten and learn how to count.
So there's a hold on Woodford County.
Well, but that's the thing, and it came behind the line of scrimmage, so that hurts.
So that ends up being a 14-yard holding penalty. And back to the 32. Now it's second down and almost 20. Blitz coming. No, they back off. Wink go throwing long deep down the left side, and that was a great defensive play by the receiver, Trey Winkfield.
Well,
had he not gotten a hand up there, Darren, it was number
14.
I thought it was, it was number 14, Justin Moore, I think would have caught it, would have had the interception.
Well, I tell you what, Trey locked in on Winkfield then. That would have been hard to say. Trey locked in on Trey. But he did. I mean, he knew where he was going to go with the ball long before instead of going through his progressions. He's got one-on-one coverage over here with D down here on the near side, the short side of the field.
All right. And the blitz is coming from the inside out, and there's a short screen. It goes to Winkfield. Great defensive play. The ball was down. The ball came out from Winkfield, but he was down with it at the 30-yard line. Had he not been tripped up there, Darren,
well,
as they say, he might still be running.
We had one of our 310-pound tackles, Sage Young, out in front of him on that, and the guy who was smaller, the cornerback, got lower than Sage and made the tackle. If Sage gets that block, that's 6. There's nobody over there in red.
All right, it'll be 4th down, and Woodford County looking at 4th and 20. And we have a timeout on the field. It's an official's timeout.
And why is that?
And Woodford County, I don't think can do that, can they? Can they go to the side?
Well, he called timeout like it was going to be one of those.
Now it's going to be Woodford County.
Yeah,
timeout.
but he made the motion like it was going to be one of those heat-related timeouts. We haven't had those this year, knock on wood. But,
so Woodford County wants to talk it over here on a 4th and 20. What would you do here, Darren? Maybe try to pooch punt?
Well, you got your quarterback. Yeah, Thurman is the punter.
Mm-hmm.
So you can punt.
There's a lot of options
you
on
can
this.
Throw it. You can. But your defense played very well. But you right now have dominated this first quarter. You're only up 7-0. You've had 2 penalties, which have put you behind the chains. You overcame the first one. You were unable to overcome the second one. Although it was a great call on the screen pass on 3rd and long. And as a matter of fact, Thurman did a great job of selling it and giving ground and giving his lineman time to get out in front of the ball carrier. And then we just had a missed block. If Young makes that block, that's not only a first down, that's 6 because nobody's going to catch it.
And Garrett, Darren, what did the scouting report say that Coach Dennis Johnson drew up for us?
Oh, is it that one
big
thing?
Letters down at the bottom with a lot of exclamation marks. Yeah. It says eliminate penalties.
Well, the other thing is what? He said prepare for combat.
And Thurman flushed down the pocket. They catch him, and it'll be a great. It's a lateral. It's picked up by Sage Jackson.
That's Sage Young.
Young, yes, and he goes to the 3rd line. That was a fumble by Sage Young, and that could have been disaster for the Yellow Jackets as Thurman was in the grasp of a Nelson County player and actually threw it backwards to no receiver. He threw it right at Sage Young.
All he saw was a white jersey.
And Young, give him credit, Darren. Give him credit because he picked it up, knew it was a fumble, and tried to advance it. Woodford only lost 5 on that play.
Yeah, well, the thing is, you get lucky there, number 1, but number 2, we get behind the chains again and cause ourselves some problems because of penalties. We've got to clean that up because here coming up in a couple of weeks, we start district play, and that's not going to be fun.
From the Nelson 35-yard line, James Washington, the freshman, and a defensive tackle. Stork rushing, throw pass sideline, incomplete. And number 13, Cameron Lavorne. Cameron Cornish. A lot of Camerons on this team, looks like. Well, Cameron Cornish, who was last year's, I believe he was last year's starting quarterback for Nelson County. They moved him to receiver.
I think you're right. Plus, there's a whole lot of Jacobs on his team, too.
Well, the offensive line is a bunch of Zacks. There's 3 Zacks on the offensive line.
They just did it to confuse you.
3 Zacks on the offensive line.
So you better make sure you get the right Zack.
It's second down and 10 for Nelson County from its 35. Lavorne calls for it, gives it to McMillan, stopped initially, and
actually.
You know who made that play? It was James Washington, the freshman, who pushed his way into the backfield, caused a collision, and then McMillan had nowhere to go. Good job, James Washington.
And Washington's no small fella either.
No, he goes about, 280, 290?
I think they said, according to family of his I know, he goes about 305.
So McMillan, that's going to be a loss of yardage, too. It'll be 3rd and 12. Lavorne and Nelson County. Blitz coming up the middle. Here comes Colley. They throw it to the outside, but it's over the head of the intended receiver. That was Michael Greenwell at about the 45-yard line. It would have been a first down, but the pass was nowhere near it.
No, he would have had to get 4 more yards if he caught it. He would have had to break the tackle of Nash to get the first down. He's going to be 4 yards short. But again, Woodford,
Jonathan Colley was coming hard.
All-out blitz, Woodford press coverage, man, and really, really put the pressure on Lavorne.
All right, here's the punt coming from the 20. Not much of a rush. Dead ball. Woodford should just get away from it probably. But, boy, artificial turf rolls are beautiful, aren't they?
I wish they
all the way down to the 20, and it just inside the 20-yard line is the punt.
Wished I had
got more of a roll.
Wish we had that kind of turf on golf courses. That would help my drives a lot.
Oh,
if I kept it in the fairway.
Can you imagine? I imagine punters' averages in high school have gone way up ever since they started punting on artificial turf.
That, but also, too, Mac, you got to understand, that oblong ball depends on how it hits, too.
And that was a dead ball. It had no spiral on it. Wasn't in over in. Just dead.
It's called a duck.
No, it's just dead.
It's called a dead.
Even a duck is alive.
It's called a dead duck.
Yeah. And here's Winkfield. Boy, look at him shake and bake through there. He gets out to the 28, a gain of 8.
Wow.
Boy, Trey Winkfield is running hard here tonight.
Well, you think about this too, Mac. Who's the epitome of running with your knees up going through the line? Who?
Roger Craig.
Roger Craig, yeah. And, he reminds me of that running style he's got. But the thing about him and Roger Craig they could both lower that shoulder at the end of runs to finish that run.
Looks like he's got pretty good ball security, too, tonight, holding that thing close to his body. Double skins it. Oh, he was on his way. He gets out to the 33. He'll get the first down.
Well, he was a half step.
Combining for the tackle for Nelson County. Boy, it's getting dark in here. It's hard to see. I think that was Jacob Smith, and couldn't see the other one.
Did you bring your glasses with you?
I did.
That might help. I don't know. I'm just saying. I have learned that I can see better since I got mine.
5-yard pickup, 1st and 10, Woodford County from its 33-yard line. Burnaby gets the handoff and breaks a tackle. He's out to the 40. First down the left sideline. He's across the 50. Spin around at the 40 and down to the Nelson County 35-yard line. Oh, yeah, he's just like a bull. You got to gang tackle him. I don't think one person can bring him down. That was a monster run by Burnaby, who'll take a break right now and come to the sideline.
I didn't see who it was, but they were reaching for anything they could get hold of. And if anybody knows Amir, he has long hair hanging out from underneath that helmet. They grabbed that and slowed him down for about a half second.
So at the Nelson County 35-yard line, that was a 32-yard pickup. Dances inside. Look at Winkfield with a dodge, and he gets down to the 25.
Wow.
What a move. A plant and step back through by Trey Winkfield. And both of these backs are really, Darren, showing themselves off here tonight at Bardstown.
I think Woodford's going to wait till the clock runs out. We're under 18 seconds to play in the quarter, and I think Woodford's going to go ahead and let the quarter end here with 12 and a half to play. But a dominating first quarter, even though the Jackets up only a score.
That's the worry. That's the worry, only a score. And it looks like the clock will run out. We're at the end of one quarter. The Jackets have thoroughly dominated the football game, but as Darren said, it's a 7-0 Yellow Jacket lead. We'll be back here on PrepSpin.com. All right, we're back for second quarter action here on PrepSpin.com. Matt Calvert, along with Darren Douglas, and our engineer Sam Smith and Gloria McLean. Do we now have a video?
Not yet. We're working on it.
All right, we're trying to get our video going here. I know we've got the audio going. Here's Trey Winkfield, who's got something going inside the 10, and he's still on his feet down to the 9-yard line. What a run by Trey Winkfield.
Well, he's well over 100 yards already, Mike.
Wow.
I don't know if you added it up in the quarter break, but I tell you what, and where Woodford's getting most of their yardage right now, Mike, between the guards and the center.
Right.
They're not going off tackle. The outside hip of either guard. They're going right between the center and the guard on both sides.
It's first and goal. And Darren, if you look at the defensive line for
they got
Nelson
5 down linemen.
They do, and they look quick, but they're not very heavy. And Woodford County is on the, as you know, real heavy side. Here's a give off in there to Jalen Washington, and he's ridden down by the shoulder pads.
Oh, I don't think he went down.
Is number 9, Nick Boone.
I don't think he went down. I actually think he got him up around the shoulder pads, rolled him over like you would gator roll.
I'd like to see the replay.
Boy, I would if we could go back and watch that. Wow.
We can't do that, can we?
But give Washington credit. He didn't think he was down. He kept running, made him blow the whistle to blow it dead.
Can we do it?
Oh, I wish we could.
We used to be able to do a replay just right after the play, and that we were limited to that. And here we go, penalties. Darren, we've already been penalized, 20 yards? And it's procedure. That's 25 now.
I think they got the left tackle.
Last week, 160 yards in 19 penalties in the game against Marion County, and we won that 55-18. How do you get 160 yards of penalties and win by 37?
Well, a few of them happened on defense. I think we had about 9 or 10 penalties on defense. So, you just get, part of it is aggression, but the other part is just lack of concentration.
Here's a third, and Winkfield this time. Well, he's still grinding. I love the way that he keeps his legs moving.
Missed block.
As you said, Darren, he runs a little bit like Roger Craig. Gets those knees up, and when he's stopped, he's not really stopped because his legs are moving and can drive him forward. He'll lose 3 on that one, though. And with the penalty now, Darren, it's back to the 15-yard line, and it will be 3rd down.
Well, so
goal from the 15.
You've gotten down to the 5 on the run by Washington, and then you have the illegal procedure that moves you back. So you take 1 step forward, take 2 steps back. It doesn't work that way.
They put Burnaby in the slot right, and rolling that way is Thurman. Throws in the slot. Beautiful pass, and it's to Colley, and he is not going to be marked in the end zone.
I think he's going to be right
marked,
short.
And it'll be 4th down and goal.
Inside the 1, though.
It'll be 4th down and goal. Let's see where they're going to mark it, Darren. Inside the 1?
Yeah, he's about as close. They're going to put it right on the 1. Lord have mercy. I thought he got a lot closer than that.
Is it right at the 1 or is
right
it on the goal line?
It's right at the 1.
It's at the 1.
I thought he got closer than that with the ball. It's not where the guy lands, it's where the ball is.
It'll be 4th down.
But you got a 6'3" quarterback, so
even with all that,
and nobody over the nose.
From the 1-yard line, Trey Thurman, they push him in. There's a penalty in the penalty book, Darren, about helping the runner.
You see it all the time, though.
And that would be an obvious case of helping the runner, but it's never called.
What's the most obvious?
Never
What's
called.
the most obvious case you've ever seen? How about the punt return at Commonwealth against Mississippi State by Derek Abney? He had 5 guys pushing him over the. But I still wouldn't have bet on Abney not getting it in. He was a strong little guy.
And Darren Thurman would not have scored except for that help.
Yep.
He was not going to get in.
I tell you what, Lippert's making a fortune off of kicking extra points, isn't he?
Yeah. With kickers, you just kind of luck out. If you got a good team, you'll get a lot of opportunities.
Get a lot of points. You also have to ice your leg a lot.
So Woodford County with a 4th down and 1, and Thurman going in for the touchdown now leads it over Nelson County 14-0 with 9:16 to go in the first half. We'll be back here on PrepSpin.com.
Hello, this is Joe Gravis with McDonald's of
Yeah.
Sales, and we are so lucky.
The only bad news, 3 penalties right now.
Yeah.
County home.
That's the bad
Thanks for your
news.
support of McDonald's and all that you do to make Woodford County a great community.
Our
Teamwork,
backs are just
family,
absolutely
community,
running
service.
wild.
That's what Gravis McDonald's is all about.
Hey.
And more importantly, that's what this community is all about.
On behalf of
If you get a chance, add up all the. We have video now? Do we have video now? Hey, we have video now, Mac.
Okay.
Hey, also, too, when you get a chance, add up Winkfield's numbers right now.
Calling the action
We have
for
to
you.
give. We have to give
Thank
Gloria.
you, Sam.
We have to give Gloria.
Hey, Gloria.
We have to give Gloria. Gloria just popped up one time. And
Now,
goes,
Sam-
all of a sudden we've got video.
Sam is saying divine intervention at the 28. And about 12 yards on the return for Nick Boone.
We're kicking it short for a reason. I don't have it. We're going into that
Well,
up back area.
We've given Nelson County pretty good starting position.
Our defense has been solid so far here in the first 21 minutes, or 15 minutes of this one. Sorry, with 9:08 to go in the half, and I'm sure Winkfield is well over 100 yards. He had 63 on the first drive on 3 totes. That's a 21-yard average. That's not too bad.
From the Nelson County 39 is where Boone returned it. And the Cardinals will be 1st and 10, trailing 14-0 with just over 9 minutes to go in the second quarter. Went for a little bit offside there on the left side.
Nah.
Out of the shotgun. Here's Lavorne. And, oh, they missed him. They missed him. And Lavorne, who missed him, Darren? Because
Collie.
that would have been a loss, and it turns into a big gain for Lavorne and a first down.
Perfect job of playing the pitch off the option, off the speed option by the cornerback Malik Richards. Collie came clean on his read, but then he went head hunting, trying to go for a knockout blow instead of going for a nice picture, perfect
Wow.
form, fundamental tackle.
Lavorne would have been stopped cold, and it would have been a monster tackle, but instead, Collie whiffs at him, and Lavorne gets the big gain to the 41-yard line of Woodford. We have penalty flags on the field, and let's hope that's against the other team.
False start because Woodford was coming all out blitz. They were bringing everybody.
Or as they say, let's hope that's against the bad guys.
Yeah, the bad guys. Well, I'll tell you what, Woodford was literally bringing everybody in the kitchen sink.
It was against the bad
Yep.
guys. Back to the 46.
You know, looking at this red and white jersey down here, the white helmets, we were talking at the UK game back on the opening Saturday night. You and I got to go together and watch the game, and we were making comments about some of the radio personalities we met at other schools, and I'm sure Woodford County fans will remember the guys down at Lincoln County referring to Woodford County players as ballerinas in black tights. I think it was the night we went down there and drilled them pretty good,
Malik
too.
Richards matched up with Willie Moore here on the right side, and they're going that way.
Speed option.
Lavorne's pitch back. They cut it back, and it'll be held to a short gain. Number 27, let's see, that was Michael Piscina on the carry. And I guess he did the right thing there. They cut it back, but Woodford County had the pursuit angle there.
Well, they stayed at home. Did a nice job staying home. The problem was Dominic Johnson played the speed option very well down on this side as well. Now we're going to get a timeout.
Nelson County,
I guess this is going to be one of those.
I think that's going to be a Nelson time.
No, looks like we got a cut hand by an official. Just give it the finger, cut it off. He's got 9 more.
Just wipe some dirt on it.
He's got
Let's
9
go,
more.
yeah.
Well, it's the umpire, and he's the one that places the ball at the line of scrimmage, so you don't want the blood thing going on. But
well, Darren, this being a new district for Woodford County, we have got a lot of non-district games this year. In fact,
7
our
of them.
schedule has 7 of them this year, and then we're guaranteed a playoff game at the end of the year, being only a 14 district.
Yeah.
So we're going to see if this district stays together for the next 4 years.
Right.
We're going to maybe see a lot of different teams on the schedule, just simply because they have to fill 7 spots, where
Right.
normally they would only have to fill 5 spots.
yeah, when I
4
think about
spots.
this, though, our sister district in this region, Covcath, Highlands,
Cass not having a very good year either.
neither's Highlands.
Lavorne, that was shot in the backfield. He collided with Michael Pacina in the backfield, and it looked like, Darren, he was going to run the option on that one, and it just got messed up royally.
Yeah, they go by hand. They go by the arm bands, and you'll see that they don't huddle. They get a call from the sidelines, and they all look down at their right arm, or some of them have it on their left arm.
That's a 5-yard loss by Lavorne. It'll be 3rd down and very long.
Now, if you're Lee Kane, the young freshman free safety, he has to know where the down marker is. This is 3rd and long.
3rd and 20. 3rd and 20. 2 tight ends in the offense. Wide receivers both directions. And depth on here on the near side.
And we're going to have a delay of game, so 3rd and 25.
Yeah, and on the other side is so you called him Graham Nash earlier. Now I want to call him Graham Nash.
His mother is Leanne Sumter, who was back in her day at Woodford County, cheerleader. Well, as a matter of fact, I think she's on.
Lavorne throws. It is intercepted at the Woodford County 40-yard line. Graham Kane reached up, tried to get it, but couldn't come up with it. And it'll be 4th down.
Well, and the thing was, Graham had it both hands on it. It squirted away from him. And as he pounded the turf with his right hand, his little brother came up, patted him on the back, said, "It's okay, big bro."
That was going to be a tough catch. That was not easy at all.
Now, if that was my little brother, he would have said, "What, Mac? Why didn't you catch it?"
All right, in punt formation is Hopper. And back deep for Woodford County is Depp. A low snap, and almost getting in there was Michael Eldridge. And takes a sideways roll. It was touched, I think, at the 24.
Now, that looked like
they should mark it. They'll mark it at the 25.
Now, that looked like my tee shot off of the tee box on the golf course. Made an immediate right.
Well, mine would be up in the trees across the border fence.
I told somebody last time I played golf, I said, I played golf here in town and went on 2 vacations at once. They said, "How's that?" I said, "I went to the beach and went camping." I had a lot of drives into the trees and several into the bunkers. So I leave town.
I need to play with you so I can feel good.
Best part of my game, to be honest with you, is my irons. If I could take Ryan's drives, my irons, and my friend's putting, I'd have a heck of a golf game.
1st and 10 from the Woodford County 25. Here's the handoff, and cutting back inside, that was Winkfield,
who
has
had
a very solid first half, outstanding first half. I don't know. I didn't go to the West Jessamine game, Darren, but is he putting together West Jessamine numbers tonight?
Better.
He had 189 yards or 198 yards at halftime with that one.
Better.
And then didn't run the ball in the second half
didn't touch it. Didn't touch it. He had 8 carries, 189 yards. No, I think it was 198.
Yeah, it was 198. You're right.
He's that guy that's got the ability to break one at any time.
Out of the shotgun, and here's Burnaby, and that was a nice
job by Hopper, yeah.
By Hopper, number 6.
But price because he took a.
So Burnaby
hitting Burnaby's like a truck running downhill. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he's not that big. He goes, 210, 215?
We're not seeing the holes that we saw earlier.
Well, I think we're running a little bit wider now. We're going more to the outside. We're going to the outer hip, the outside hip of both guards now, and just kind of changing the eye level. You know how a pitcher does with the strike zone. We're just trying to change the eye level of that Cardinal defense right now.
It's a very fast front four for Nelson County against that big, beefy Woodford County front line. Give it off tackle. There it is, Winkfield, and he busted. Looks like it's going to be a first down. He crossed the 35, which is exactly what he had to do. And Woodford County will have a fresh set of downs, courtesy of their star tailback tonight, Trey Winkfield. He's out to the 37, first down.
You know what? This offense kind of reminds me of? The old Veer offense. First off, under Duke Owen with those 4 running backs he had, but let's take it and come closer in the years to 1988, 89, those 4 running backs.
Yeah.
And we're talking about Frank Mulder, Lewis and Lee Payne, and I can't remember the other one there.
Big hole, left side. Jalen
Washington.
Washington across the 40 to about the 42. He had a gap there.
You talking about a kid who had an incredible night last week in his first action of the season on the varsity level. Washington had 8 carries for 86 yards and a couple of scores.
Yeah, he did. I mean, he had when he came in, he was a factor.
Now, how about this? If you ever want to go power eye of this, put Washington and Burnaby in front of Wingfield. Whew.
Now, Washington, is he at his ideal weight?
No, he was hurt and he didn't do a whole lot of working out and stuff like that.
I think he could shed a few pounds.
Just
here.
a few, but he's got that little soft spot there in the middle.
Colley trying to block at the line of scrimmage, the tight end, and that was Eldridge with the carry, and that'll bring up third down.
Well, they had Eldridge and Washington in there to spell Wingfield and Burnaby, and here comes the hammer. And Wingfield's not that big, but you could probably throw him in there as Thunder.
4:14 to go in the first half. Woodford 14, Nelson County nothing. Wide receivers Richards to the right and Brody McCown is to the left. Wingfield and Burnaby are the setbacks in the shotgun right next to the quarterback, Trey Thurman.
Blitz coming.
Crossbuck play. Inside Wingfield. Got a hold. First down. Lots more. Inside Nelson County territory. Gets a bang right at the end from the backside. But he pops right up. Number 1, Willie Moore, came from behind and gave him a jolt.
Wow, he could have.
But Trey got up.
Thurman could have given that to either Burnaby or to Wingfield. There were holes on both sides of that. They just caved that Nelson County defensive line into the middle of the formation. And right now, Woodford we've thrown, 2 passes?
Have we thrown that many?
Yeah, we've thrown 2. The one incompletion and then the one screen pass.
From the 42
Actually,
of Nelson County, first down, same formation. Here's I thought Thurman had kept it, but he didn't. Nice carry out of the fake by the quarterback. It was Wingfield.
Give him 7 more.
Another tote.
Give him 6 or 7.
And there's something I don't see high school quarterbacks do very much is carry out the kind of fake that Trey Thurman did.
Yeah.
They hand it off, and they're supposed to do it, but they figure, ball's gone, what's the use?
Well, I tell you, the best fake I ever saw of that was the guy from Boise State a few years ago in the Fiesta Bowl with the old Statue of Liberty play.
Yep. Second down and 6. Give off in there to Burnaby, and he got through an arm tackle, and there's a late flag
from the umpire.
Maybe face mask?
It's also in the area of holding. That's usually holding, but maybe we get a face mask here. Let's
Willie
see.
Moore came up to hit him. And what is it, holding?
Holding.
There was flags on the play. The preliminary signal was holding against Woodford.
And the penalty is
been Woodford's only downfall here in the first half.
At the 36. So Burnaby, let's give him a yard, and then it'll
Actually, give him 2 because they marked it at 38. The stick is over at the 38, just inside the 38, but we'll give him 2 yards on that carry.
To the 46. So it'll be back in the Nelson County 46. That's our third holding penalty tonight.
It's the only thing Woodford's done wrong here in the first half is the 3 holding penalties. But when you're smash mouthing somebody, you're going to get some holds like that.
Second and 15.
I can live with this. These aren't the unsportsmanlike or personal foul penalties.
Thurman across the middle. Great catch by Jacob Jenkins.
Sunshine.
And it'll set up a third and short as Jenkins, and he had to reach behind him to come up with that one. I wasn't sure he came up with it, Darren, but that was a tough catch.
That's the one
by Jacob Jenkins.
That's the one that Jacob Tammy, James Whalen, who's the guy before Whalen at UK? They made a living off that shallow crossing route, just below the DBs, right behind the linebackers.
Third and short appears to be 4-down territory for Woodford County. Here's a give off in there to Barnaby. Big hole left side. First down. Cuts it back to the middle. He's to the 10 and gets ridden down from behind inside the 10. They'll mark him at the 9-yard line. And he showed us a burst of speed there. That was a huge hole for him to run through. He didn't have to do any kind of bullet stuff until right at the end.
Who was 22 for Nelson?
That's Leander Beckley.
He went for a ride.
He did.
You want to know what it's like to be on a bucking bull? He knows that now.
So a first down, Burnaby for a 24-yard pickup. Woodford County really running here in the first half. Their rushing yardage on the year is tremendous. Here's Burnaby. What a cutback he made. He'll score standing up. The play was designed, I think, to go off tackle, and he planted and came back inside and went in. I won't say without being touched, but he went in standing up.
Somebody got a hand on his thigh, and that was about it.
Yep. No problem for Burnaby to score a 9-yard touchdown run by Emir Burnaby. It comes with 1:48 to go in the first half. A first half that has been thoroughly dominated by the Jackets.
Mac, I'm going to tell you this. Woodford came in averaging about 390 yards rushing. 90 yards of total offense. Okay?
I don't think they'll hurt that average
They came in. They were second in 5A in rushing per game with around 297 yards of rushing.
Well, we'll have.
They got 163 yards of passing. So, you've got enough weapons on the outside that keeps people honest. People say, why are they rushing the ball so well? Well, first off, you got 5 big, and I don't mean anything by this, so family members don't write us any nasty notes. Don't mean anything bad about this, but a former coach, actually several coaches at Woodford County, Dan Cassidy, Mike Burkich, even Duke Owen, the big uglies, the guy who's up front that don't get any kind of recognition unless they hold somebody or they do something, that creates a penalty or something like that. They don't get recognition like they should. But those 5 guys up front, I mean, you, me, Sam, Mr. Cooley back in Versailles, we could all run through that hole. I mean, they are opening up some huge holes.
Well, this is the kind of beating that Nelson County put on us here 2
years ago. Yeah.
Dominating the first half against the Jackets, maybe even more dominating than we've seen Woodford County so far, if you can believe that, because Woodford County has just really laid one on here.
Well, Woodford had 502 yards of total offense last week, 301 on the ground, 201 in the air. That's about as balanced as you can get without being right on each.
They're really keeping it away from the deep guys, or trying to. At the 20-yard line is picked up by McMillan.
Oh, nice play.
And how's that pursuit for you?
Nice.
I tell you what, they came down there, found their position, Darren, and waited on it, stayed in their lanes, and that was a really good special team unit play there.
Woodford older guys making plays, but that was a youngster there, Zion Higgins. Okay, the son of John Higgins, who started 3 years at quarterback for the Jackets. Back into Collie and even got in on the tackle as well.
So a 9-yard return, McMillan to the 29. 1st and 10, Nelson County with not a lot of time left on the clock, 1:38. Here's a give inside. No, Lavorne's going to pass. He's going to throw the screen, and it is completed to McMillan, who will stretch forward on the left sideline for what looks like a first down. It is at the Nelson County 41-yard line.
Nice play designed to leak out the running back in the backfield after the zone read. Fake to him. Nice job by Lavore to look off the receivers, but then a nice play on the far side over there by Ben Nash to stay at home and make a nice open field tackle.
1:30 to play. 1 timeout left here in the first half for Nelson County. And Jalen Washington, how about that stop?
Well, he's not at his playing weight.
McMillan after a 2-yard pickup.
He's not at his playing weight, but man, is he strong, huh?
He's probably huffing and puffing, but he's making good stops.
Yeah, but think about this. He hasn't played in the first 3 games. He gets his first action last week, but look how strong he was. He took him down with one arm.
Yeah. 2nd down, and we'll call it 8 from the Nelson County 42. Receivers both directions. Lavorne back to pass. Strong rush by Jenkins. He throws. Ball is hanging. It will be incomplete. What a effort, I tell you, what an effort by the intended receiver, Willie Moore, to go up and really try to bat the ball to himself. If he had, he would have been out of bounds.
Yeah, but
boy, he definitely made the best play on it that he could have made.
Good read, too, though, by Malik Richards as the Jackets were in 2 deep safeties, and Richards came off the hash mark to help his buddy D. Depp over here. And I told D, I said, man, would you catch a kickoff cleanly for once? I don't care if he's out returning 97 yards for a touchdown. What are you talking about? I said, I know.
Depp is matched up with Moore on the wide side.
2 deep safeties still.
And here's McMillan. He's going to get a first down inside Woodford County territory at the Woodford County 49. but the time shows only 43 seconds, and I think Nelson County they're going to move the chains and start the clock.
Here's the thing, Mac, too, though. People who have watched us with Nelson County before, and Woodford's going to take a timeout here. But
why would Woodford take it?
Well, probably to close down some holes.
That's going to give Nelson County two
down,
timeouts on this drive.
But to close some holes. You're giving up a lot of yardage here late in the first half when you dominated this game. But the thing is, people watching on video, Mac, they're going, well, Nelson doesn't look a little different. I mean, they don't wear the blue pants anymore. But here's the other thing.
They don't wear the cardinal in the helmet.
But they don't
anymore.
have those big splits in the offensive line. There were 4.5 yards between each tackle, each lineman, because they would spread you out from hash mark to hash mark on the interior of that line.
You got to have a real athletic team to do that.
You do, and I don't think they do this year just by watching their linemen.
No, they're pretty heavy up front.
They're
on
big,
the offensive line.
they're big. But our defensive line's been getting a real nice push up front, no matter who's been in there.
Well, Woodford County, they're late getting on the field. Nelson County's ready to go.
You got Burnaby in there right now to tackle.
1st and 10 from the Woodford 48. Give inside to McMillan, and he got
Burnaby.
And there's the final Nelson County timeout of the half. He barely got back to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, the hammer. They did a little nose twist between the nose guard, which Burnaby was at, and the defensive tackle, which Washington was at. Now, that's two little tree stumps to try to move out of there. You know what I'm saying? Those guys are – now, Amir, his 5 or 6 years, whatever it was, he wrestled up until a year ago. That pays off in being down there in the trenches like that. You got a weird look on your face over there. What are you trying to figure up there?
I'm trying to get started on Troy Winkfield. Here.
Trey Winkfield? Yeah, huge. I bet I'm going to go out on a limb, Mac. I'm going to say Woodford's got 260 yards rushing in the first half, minimum. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Tell me if I'm right.
Okay.
Now next week, we want to remind fans Woodford will be back to Community Stadium, Mac. They, at the beginning of the scheduling, they were going to make homecoming and senior night, that game against Anderson County on October the 2nd to be both those. Homecoming is next Friday night against Madison Central now.
And a big gainer by McMillan cuts it back to the center of the field and gets to the Woodford County 30. Woodford County is playing soft, though, Darren.
Right. They're softening up a little bit, but here's what you don't want. What you don't want to do is give Nelson County any glimmer of the end zone. You do not want to make them smell that end zone. You want to. I think you need to keep attacking right now. Because they'll get the ball to start the second half. If they push this thing in there, they get the ball to start the second half. Now they've got a little glimmer of hope, and that's not going to do anything.
27 seconds, and the clock will continue to run.
Dolly.
Well, there's a timeout here. I thought they only had one timeout.
Maybe that was their.
Am I looking at the wrong number?
No, you're not. But anyway, I don't know.
Well, that should be their last one.
That should be now.
That's got to be their last one. So McMillan was brought down for a 2-yard loss back to the Woodford County 31. We have 23 seconds left in the first half. Nelson County's on the Woodford 32. They're trailing 21-0. So, they really, Darren, need to get something on the board here, whether it be a touchdown or I don't think they got a field goal kicker, was kind of interesting, Darren. Their extra point kicker and field goal is from Brazil. And they wanted us to make sure we mentioned him tonight.
Yeah, he's a foreign
exchange student. His name is Lucas Shammy. And if they don't get what they need right here, I don't know whether they'd rush the
he's not ready.
Team on or not.
He's not ready. He's down there on the bench with his helmet off.
That might be a college or pro maneuver, but maybe not in high school.
Some high school teams can do that. I've seen them do it.
Lavorne. They rush him hard, and he throws. He's going to the end zone. He's got a man out there. It is caught for the touchdown.
Well, Lee Kane got a hand on it, knocked it up in the air, and great concentration by Nelson County, but Woodford gives up a touchdown here late in the first half and gives Lincoln, listen to me, right back to their red and white pants and the white helmets.
Wow, he caught that one on the back of the end zone.
Well,
and what a maneuver to step up in the pocket by Lavorne to avoid a quarterback sack.
Again, Collie came free on a blitz, but again he went headhunt. He went high. You can't go high. You've got to stay
Here's the foreign exchange student, Shammy.
a left footer.
He's a left-footed soccer-style kicker. Of course, these days you don't need to say soccer-style, do you?
Nope. I saw one the other night, though, a straight-on guy.
Shammy's kick hardly got off the
ground. The ball fell off the tee, I think.
Okay.
And Shammy stopped.
He never kicked it?
Nope, never got it. No, I think the ball came off the tee. I think it fell off the tee.
Okay, so something on the order of conversion failed there.
Yeah.
So Woodford County, it looks like, gives up a momentum, I hope not a momentum-changing score there. As Lavorne, I tell you, Lavorne and Moore were tremendous on that play. Lavorne avoiding a quarterback sack and, as you said, a headhunting expedition there by Colley, and then throwing in the back of the end zone where Woodford County had pretty good coverage.
Yeah, that was Lee Kane back there, the freshman. He actually was in really good position, got a hand on it, and just all he did was deflect it up in the air, though, where the Nelson County receiver could come down with it, and Moore bobbled himself but was able to collect it before falling on the back line.
I was just watching the flight of the ball, Darren, and Kane and Moore, the receiver for Nelson, I said, man, he's going to catch that. I mean,
Which one was
I
going
could
to
see
catch
the
it?
arc of the ball being right in Moore's
Which one was going to catch it?
Moore,
okay. Well,
surprised he catch it? Yeah.
After it got deflected, after it got deflected. But the thing is, Kane was in great position to make a play on it, just could not deflect it enough away from the Nelson County receiver.
Now, you do expect when we had a penalty.
For what?
And a 15-yard penalty.
Well, there's one of those unsportsmanlike conduct penalties.
He's going to kick off from the Woodford 45, so surely we will have an onside kick now.
Well, at least a squibber anyway. But you got two guys back there that can take it to the house.
So Hopper will kick off. And in Woodford County territory already lose, especially now with only 13 seconds on the clock. Here, heads off to the right side to the end zone.
Boy, he was close to breaking that one. Man, he ran.
Depp got out to the 10, a 9-yard return on the kickoff.
This one came from the linesman on the near side here, Mac.
3 seconds. Were you tremendously surprised they didn't try the onside kick?
Kind of. They thought when they were at the 45 they could get it to the end zone and Woodford would not be able to carry it out.
Gee, I would have gone for that. I mean, you got 15-yard penalty against Woodford, puts the kickoff at the Woodford 45. You're already trailing by 15.
And actually,
there's only and the time left was the big factor in doing the onside kick.
You get a personal foul against Woodford.
Darren, if he got it,
yeah.
If he got the onside kick, they still have a play left.
That goes against it's a personal foul against Woodford. The official here on the near side, in front of one of the Nelson County coaches, threw that flag way after the play.
Or is it back to the 4?
Back to the 5. Now, don't do anything dumb here. Let's just take this thing out and get to halftime.
Where was the flag thrown?
From this near side. He threw it from the 30 where about this coach is standing right here and got it down to the 15.
Well, Woodford risked a handoff there.
Well, that's
on the last play of the
go ahead and hand
half.
it. Amir didn't fumble too much inside.
Was that Amir?
Yep.
So Burnaby gets about 4 yards to end the first half, but Nelson County ends the first half with hope on a 31-yard touchdown pass from their quarterback, Cameron Lavorne, to their wide receiver, Justin Moore. And it's a 21-6 Woodford County lead here at halftime. We'll be back to enjoy the band performance, and we'll give you a roundup of what Woodford County did statistically in the first half. Again, 21-6, Woodford County on top here at halftime at Bardstown, Nelson County High School. We'll be back here on Press.
Are you looking for a dependable source for all your printing and promotional needs? Then shop locally and let Versailles Printing help you. No job is too big or too small. Everything from business cards to letterhead are done in a swift, professional manner. Versailles Printing can also help you advertise an event with yard signs, banners, and magnetic signs. They even do pins, mugs, t-shirts.
I'm Louis Gaver with Sutherland Chevrolet. Come see us. We'll show you how we make buying a car fun again.
Sutherland's the only dealer in the state to be awarded the prestigious GM Mark of Excellence Award. And we're easy to get to, just 6 miles past the Fayette Mall.
No hassle, just the Sutherland advantage.
For price, service, and selection, nobody beats a Sutherland deal.
Sutherland Chevrolet.
Kentucky's best Chevy deal.
We'd also like to welcome the Old Kentucky Home Middle School band members you can see sprawled out back there. Ladies and gentlemen, the future of Nelson County High School band. Drum major, Carly Davis, is your band ready? Presenting their 2015 program entitled Trust. Nelson County High School Marching Band, you may take the field. The Nelson County High School Marching Band.
Back to Nelson County High School here in Bardstown, Kentucky. We're at halftime where the Yellow Jackets lead the Cardinals by a score of 21-6. A very dominating first half by the Jackets, done mostly on the ground. They've completed a couple of passes. Not asked to throw the ball a lot, but the first drive of the ball game, Jackets go 3 plays, 63 yards, and Trey Winkfield finished it off from 50 yards out to make it 6-0. Maxton Lippert's extra point made it 7-0. And Mac, you have the halftime totals.
Yes, well, let's continue our scoring there. Winkfield with the
That's the only one I can remember.
Okay. Yeah, 50-yard touchdown run on the first drive of the game, and that was Lippert extra point made it 7-0. Woodford County, Nelson County on their opening drive, and then turns it into a long touchdown drive. No, they didn't. This ended at the Nelson 30 as Woodford County tried a desperation lateral that almost ended up in disaster. Sage Young picking it up to avoid that disaster. But Woodford County shut them down again on the next series, and this time they did turn that defensive stop into a touchdown drive of 80 yards. Thurman going in from 1 yard out after throwing a 14-yard pass to Jonathan Colley to set it up. Lippert's extra point made it 14-0. It was a fourth down play. You're right. Woodford then made it 21-0 with 1:48 to go in the first half, as they drove this time 75 yards and scored on a 9-yard run by Amir Burnaby. Lippert's extra point made it 21-0. And that's the way we were hoping it would stay at halftime, but Nelson County had a different idea. They went 71 yards in about 7-8 plays. And the big play, of course, coming on a pass there was only 13 seconds to go, as Lavorne stepped up to avoid the rush, to avoid the sack, threw to the back of the end zone. Graham Kane trying to get to the ball, but out leaping him was Justin Moore, catching it with a foot down in the back of the end zone for the touchdown for the Cardinals. Extra point was failed, and that's where we stand here at halftime. Is Woodford County 21, Nelson County 6.
It was the other Kane. It was Lee.
It was Lee.
But okay. Lee played it perfectly. He was in the hip pocket of the receiver. Great positioning and got a hand on it. Just nice concentration by Moore for Nelson County to bring it down. And what made it even a more special catch for Moore was the fact that he bobbled it himself and was able to collect it before he went out of bounds.
Here's the domination of the first half. First of all, Nelson County's only run 19 plays.
Wow.
And for only 83 total yards. They had 52 rushing, and they had 31 passing.
And most of that 52 came on the last play, or on that last drive.
Yeah, they had 52 yards until they threw the touchdown pass. Woodford County has rushed for 251 yards in the first half on 30 carries and has passed for 27, so they have 33 plays for 278 yards here in the first half. The leading rusher is Trey Winkfield, 17 carries, 144 yards, and 1 touchdown. It was Burnaby. He's had a big night too, 7 carries for 83 yards and a touchdown. So you put those two together, and it's well over 200 yards.
You look at this coming into tonight's game. Winkfield, I mentioned in the pregame, 48 carries, 401 yards, 9 scores. He's now up to 65 carries for 545 yards. Okay? He's going to get 1,000 yards this year, if he stays healthy.
Well, that's Woodford County's bread and butter, so they're going to go to
11 touchdowns rushing the ball. No, he's got 10 because all 3 touchdowns scored by 3 different players. Burnaby coming in tonight, 46 carries, 312 yards in the score. He's got 4 scores now. Burnaby was averaging 7.5 yards per carry. Okay.
And 78
coming
yards
in,
a game.
Yeah, coming in. Wingfield was averaging 8.2 yards per carry and 100 yards a game. Thurman was averaging 5.3 yards per carry and 2 scores coming in. So, I mean, who do you stop? Now you've got Eldridge starting to carry the ball more, and he came in with 122 yards rushing, and he's done well tonight, as well as now Washington, who didn't see action in the first 3 games at all. You got 5 running backs back there that are pretty dangerous.
And Woodford County, Darren, has averaged about coming in 330 ground yards a game.
Yeah, that's just ridiculous.
And they're 278 tonight.
And
251 tonight.
Yeah, and 165 yards a game passing the ball. And they've got, only 27 tonight. But why throw the ball when your ground game is right now not only wearing down the Nelson County defense, but also just kind of demoralizing them because, you're ripping off 7 yards here, 25 here.
Not much passing, as you said. Thurman is 2 out of 3 tonight. No interceptions, 27 yards. And for Lavorne of Nelson County, he's thrown 4 times, completed 1, no interceptions for 31 yards. And, of course, that went for a touchdown to Justin Moore. I think you hear the horn go off here, and we're about set to start the second half on, again, a beautiful night here at Nelson County. And it's even more beautiful with 2 cop cars who have just come across the horizon there, blue lights flashing, and they're out to get somebody.
Now, you see that far away, and you couldn't see the roster here in front of you a moment ago. But, yeah, just all of a sudden it just lit up right there, just across, because really it's not a bad drive down here to Nelson County. You're about 52 minutes away.
Yeah, and you missed the turnoff.
Well, we came in a different way, got us here. Hey, brought us through a cornfield.
Gets us here. Yeah. We were supposed to turn off on the first exit. Well, Darren couldn't get off on the first exit because some guy coming off the ramp was right in the way, and he was going a pretty good speed.
And he was a whole lot bigger than us, too. That truck he was driving was a whole lot bigger than us. We'd have been up underneath of it.
So we went on another 10 miles, and it worked out. See Nelson County back on the field. Lavorne, who threw that touchdown pass, which was, I tell you what, he showed some guts on that one.
Yeah, and
stepping up in the midst of a rush.
But again, Colley, your middle linebacker, is supposed to be a true tackler. That's what your middle linebacker is. He's your best linebacker. He's your strongest. He's your more sure tackler. And he's going head hunting. And let's put it this way, Lavorne is a pretty big fella. I mean, he goes you'd say about 6'2", 6'3".
Yeah, we don't have his dimensions
Probably
here,
about 190, 195. Pretty good sized quarterback. So you cannot go head hunting with him. You got to get him right between the numbers. Put that face mask between the 1 and the 2 instead of going up around it. Because if you go up around it, it's kind of like Thurman. You get there to tackle Trey, he's just as big. Now, granted, you couldn't put 2 of them together and make Jared Lorenzen,
No, it would take more than that.
Lord, it would take a dump truck to get him down there.
Have you seen him lately?
Yes, sir. We saw him Saturday, that first game, And then again, I don't think we talked about that. We went to that game, that Louisiana Lafayette game with Kentucky, and the thing the University of Kentucky did between the third and the fourth quarters for the Special Olympians was just absolutely, I got goosebumps just talking about it right now.
And they played on the big board up there. They played the introduction.
Yeah, the pump-up song, they call it, the football pump-up song. So now you look at that, and I think Stoops is heading in the right direction and up there. But, I think when Kentucky and Louisville, boy, it pains me to say this, but when both those Division I programs are good, it seems like the high school programs in the local area around the 2 schools benefit from it.
Well, we think Nelson County will receive to start the second half.
Well, Coach Egley's got 3 of the officials of the 5 over here and has been talking to them for about, I'd say, a better part of 6 to 8 minutes.
What do you think he's saying?
Well, he's sure not asking them to go out to dinner afterwards. I know that.
No.
But
he's saying watch all the holding and grabbing and punching, and
that's what coaches,
even though it's not going on,
he's calling attention to it. This team's been very well penalized over the course of the first 4 games.
For that matter, Nelson County's had its share of penalties too.
Yeah, but I don't think there's any team in the state of Kentucky in any class that has been penalized as much as the Jackets.
No, I would think that would be a safe bet to say that.
Yeah, it wouldn't be too far a stretch, huh?
Well, Nelson County scoring in the waning moments of the first half, and
But
now
if
they're going to
you're
get the ball
Woodford,
back.
Woodford, you cannot allow that little glimmer of hope they've got going into the locker room to manifest itself into something bigger.
Justin Moore will drop deep along with McMillan, Christian McMillan, the two safeties here on the kickoff from Maxton Lippert. 21-6, Woodford County. We start the second half. Matt Calvert along with Darren Douglas and our engineer Sam Smith and Gloria McLean.
As soon as they turned these lights on in the press box, it got hot in here.
And we say thank you to Sam and Gloria for turning our audio broadcast only into a video broadcast tonight. And with a little divine intervention.
That's why they make the big bucks.
Lippert ready to approach the football, and we're underway here in the second half.
Take a funny hop.
And it's going to roll and roll and roll. That was a great kick. I thought he stepped on the sideline.
I did too.
Moore is going to get about 5 yards.
But I tell you what, this near side official got any more excited. I think he might just pop his hip out of place. He's just kind of easy going. Doesn't not too much effort into what he's doing. He just kind of saunters up the sideline and marks the ball at the 29, and that's where the Jackets defense has to answer the call, Mike. They cannot give up a drive here now after giving up that late score to Nelson in the first half after totally, and I mean totally dominating the first half.
1st and 10 from the line for Nelson County. Back he goes, Lavorne, and he's throwing.
He was here on the near side hash marks, and I think him over to a little bit more of the
Elio Reyes, Daniel Stork, James Washington, the down lineman for Woodford County. Here's McMillan breaking a hole. He's got a first down, and he stretches forward to the 44-yard line. Tackle was made by, I believe that was
Lee Kane.
Was it Kane or Ben Nash?
That was Lee Kane. Came up from the free safety spot. Now, Colley's starting to guess at a hole. And he got caught up when he ran up the back of one of his down linemen.
1st and 10, Nelson County. 2 men in the slot, 1 wide receiver left. Lavorne deep on the shotgun pass, and he's throwing it. He's got a first down as he hits his tight end. That was number 38, Bradley Watson.
Ran a little pick play there.
And so Lavorne is now saying, well, we're going to be more of an air team here in the second half, and he gets it to Woodford County's 42-yard line and another Nelson County first down. One back in the backfield, 3 wide receivers, 2 to the wide side left. Here's a give-off in there. McMillan shoots through a hole, got another first down, and I believe he's going to score. He does. And Nelson County is back in the football game.
Well, I tell you what, that touchdown at the end of the game now, we've got a flag on the far side. Dominic Johnson did not get off the field in time. Now, that I don't agree with this penalty. They're going to give the penalty, and they're going to holding on the far side away from the play.
So rub out McMillan's run with a penalty.
Well, it came from the far side official, the head linesman on the far side.
It was thrown at the 33-yard line, so McMillan will get 9 yards and then be penalized
10 more.
He got 9 to the point of the foul. Now they're going to penalize 10 yards.
Yeah. And the thing was, I thought they got Dominic Johnson for being on the field when the ball was snapped. He's about a yard and a half off, still on the field, but
so right back to the same spot, and it will be 1st and 10.
Well, I tell you what, I think Coach Egley needs to keep McMillan in there.
McMillan running pretty well right now.
He's been their only. Well, what he's done from the running back spot that the other backs haven't done was he's hitting that hole at full speed.
Lavorne out of the shotgun again. Back to pass he goes. Stork putting on a rush. He throws softly across the middle. It is
Johnson just got his head.
Incomplete.
Now we got a flag in the defensive secondary.
Is it going to be pass interference?
Wow.
What are they going to call?
Wow.
Well, you were saying it, Darren, getting your head around.
Well, but he didn't throw the flag at him. He threw it away from the ball.
Pass interference. That'll be a first down for Nelson County.
Here's the thing. The pass interference should come on the receiver who the ball's thrown to. Away from the ball should be either illegal contact, which there's not in the high school ranks, or holding.
21-6 Woodford County with 11:03 to go in the third quarter. Blitz is coming, and Lavorne gets through a tackle by Stork, or that's Eldridge, and he's going to get maybe 4 or 5 yards down to the Woodford County 21-yard line.
Wow.
Well, Eldridge missed him. He had him in the backfield.
Dropped his eyes. Got to keep your head up when you got to see it to hit it.
They'll mark it at the 23. It's a gain of 4. It'll be 2nd and 6 from the Woodford County 23-yard line as Lavorne went all the way to the sideline and came back.
They've gotten it down here in 1:24 when this clock restarted after the first down.
Boone is the lone setback, and they give it to him. And
got back to maybe
he got
a yard, maybe
inside the 25.
May have gotten a yard. Wow, they
got him more than that.
They're going to give him the 21. I didn't think he got that far.
Boone with a couple.
Wow.
And it will be 3rd down and 5.
That was a generous spot.
So let's see if Lavorne's going to wear himself out running back and forth from the sideline.
Well, most quarterbacks do that. Looks like they've gotten rid of the wristbands, Mac. I don't see any of the players on the field.
Lavorne, rush is coming, throws across the ball. What a play by Dominic Johnson.
Nope, that's D-Depp.
Is it D-Depp?
That's D.
Excuse me, that's D-Depp with the left hand, reaches across and knocks the football to the ground, intended for the wide receiver. That would have been a completed pass.
Perfect position from D. In the inside of the left hip pocket of the receiver Moore.
Didn't have his hands on the receiver.
Running stride for stride and then timed it just perfectly with the left hand.
Big play for the Jacket defense here. 4th down and about 4 or 5. Lavorne back to pass. Colley goes by. In the end zone. It is incomplete. And Woodford County dodges a bullet because Nelson County had scored.
Hold on, we got a flag on the far side.
Nelson County had scored and was penalized for holding. Holding against Woodford County. And that'll be a 1st down for Nelson County.
Well, I tell you what, I don't know what Coach Egley was talking to the officials about, but the 3 officials that have thrown flags in this half are the 3 he had huddled up in the second half, right before the second half started.
That's unbelievable. That's unbelievable.
And Coach Dennis Johnson on the far side letting the near side official have it. So
Woodford about to escape, giving up a touchdown, a penalty by Nelson County. And now Nelson County throws an incomplete pass on 4th down, was going to turn it over to Woodford County, and the Jackets are called for holding.
I don't know what they're talking about on the far side. He's made the call. It's supposed to be a 1st down.
And the ball is going to be about the 16-yard line, looks like. Holding Woodford County. Wait a minute now. Where are we going here? We're going inside the 10-yard line. How can we do this?
I don't know. Unless it's from the point of infraction, but it should come back to the line of scrimmage. There is no point of infraction on the defensive side of the ball.
Should be on the 11.
No, they can't count.
They marked it at the 9. It actually ends up being a 12-yard penalty, I guess. And here is Lavorne, and Woodford County takes out its frustration there by mashing Lavorne back at the 14-yard line.
Take your pick. Jost, Eldridge, Nash, Richards, they're all in there.
So a 5-yard loss. It'll be 2nd and goal from the 14.
Actually, they gave him a 12.
12?
Yeah.
So only a 3-yard loss.
That's unbelievable.
Lavorne, back he comes. He's got McMillan in the backfield behind him. 2 receivers either direction. Woodford on the blitz. Lavorne steps up and throws. The ball's in the air, incomplete. And Graham Kane was back there to break it up. The ball was intended for number 18, Michael Greenwell.
If he steps in front of that, that's an interception going the other way.
Yeah, it is. But Kane was right there to knock it down, and now it's 3rd and goal from the 12.
Well, they're in 4-town territory. They're trying to.
They got to get Lavorne.
Well, they got to him. I thought
they're putting pretty good pressure on him,
but
he's able to step step up a little bit and get a little more time.
I thought Reyes got a good push and got horse collared.
Yeah.
Got an offensive lineman's arm up around his neck.
Colley has been in the backfield all night long.
He's coming.
And he is coming again. They pick him up, and here's McMillan, and he will be down around the 10 or the 9. It'll be 4th and goal. They tried to cross Woodford County up with a running play. Catch him anticipating pass, and the ball is down at the 9, so he gained 3. It'll be 4th and goal at the Woodford County 9.
This will be a
and
big
they get
stop
Boone
here.
back in, and McMillan. They trade spots in the backfield. So here comes Lavorne. It's 4th and goal. 4th and about 9 for Nelson County. High snap. He's looking. He's got a man back there. It is touchdown. We got a flag? No flag?
Yeah, we got a flag. It's going to be pass interference on Woodford.
Was that the 38? Was that the 38? Woodford's clapping. It's going to be against Nelson County. Can we decline it?
No, we can't. He caught the ball.
He caught the ball, didn't he? Yep. So what is it? Holding?
I mean, I think it's illegal use of hands. Or I didn't see it, to be honest with you.
It's a 15-yard penalty.
Must have been pass interference then.
Pass interference, offense pass interference this time.
Well, I thought Kane was in good position, or that was Dominic Johnson in good position to make the play on the ball. He all of a sudden just jerked. So he may have got a hand in the back.
So a second Nelson County touchdown is called back by penalty. Here comes, no, Colley's going to back off this time. Lavorne going for the end zone, and the nearest person to it was Dominic Johnson.
Nope, D-Dep.
Did he catch it?
D-Dep.
Was it D-Dep? Did he catch it?
Yep.
That's an interception. That's his second of the year.
And then he goes over.
I'd look around this corner here, and he disappeared around the corner, and I didn't think he had enough room to catch it in bounds, but I guess he did.
Act like the ball was intended for him.
So Depp comes up with the interception, and boy, Darren, that was a
huge stop.
Huge. That whole drive was huge.
But Nelson hurt themselves with 2 penalties. It's been the calling card in the first 4 games has been Woodford has hurt themselves with some untimely penalties, taking some points off the board. Nelson does it twice in this one drive.
So Woodford County will now take over, and it's 25-yard line.
Now you know what's demoralizing? Drive it right down the field.
Yep. Well, we'll see if they can do it here.
And do it running the ball.
Winkfield and Burnaby in the backfield.
That's not going to do
Offense has been on the sideline a long time. And Winkfield will just get back to the line of scrimmage. A little extracurricular there with Hopper.
Well, Hopper was trying to get around Sage Young. It's like taking a trip around the world.
Trey Winkfield in the first half, 17 carries, 144 yards.
Give him a yard here.
This is Woodford County's first offensive effort of the second half. And we are at 7:36. Yep. So that was a pretty
good drive.
Pretty long drive.
Nice drive from Nelson County, yeah.
But still 21-6 Jackets. It'll be second down, and they gave him 1, so it'll be second down and 9 at the 26. That's Depp in motion, and they pitch to him. He's got Winkfield down in front. He cuts back, gets across the 25 to the 27. It'll be third and short coming up. It looked like 29 was in there. DeMarcus Hamilton, big, tall kid.
But that was actually Malik Richards.
On the carry?
Yep.
So Richards gets to about the
26. Well, let's give him. You'll give him 27.
Well, he only got a yard.
I gave him the 27, Mac.
Yeah, he only got a yard.
No, he didn't. He got 6 because Trey got 1. Trey got 1 on his carry.
Okay,
yeah.
I had the original line of scrimmage as the 25. That's my problem.
Timeout. Somebody. I didn't see who called it.
So I got 6 on there.
Yeah. Now, Mac, we want to say good luck to the Yellow Jacket girls soccer team. They play tomorrow night. I don't know if they play at home or away. Sam, do you know? Girls soccer, do they play at home or away? They lost their second match of the season by the identical score of 2-1. They got beat earlier in the year by Boyle County 2-1 in the Fayette County Soccer Frenzy or whatever they call it now. And then last Saturday night they got beat by Lexington Catholic 2-1 in a matchup of 2 teams that were at the top of the region. And they play tomorrow night. And after a big win on the road at Clark County on Wednesday night, boys soccer won the other night against Western Hills. And then they beat, I think it was Anderson County the other night. So
what's the record now?
Boys have lost none.
Winkfield first down, gets a little juke and gets to the outside, gets to about the 38-yard line, gain of 12, and Woodford County will continue its drive. Trey Winkfield now with 156 yards tonight and a touchdown. That was the touchdown on the opening drive, a 50-yard burst.
And it was nice little cut as he got outside there. That one, very patient run, set up that block, and then just came.
Well, let's see if this big line can start leaning on these guys from Nelson County here. Tie-dye backfield. Thurman is under center. Gives off in there to Winkfield, off right tackle, and
5.
Yeah, he did get.
Or
I was
4,
watching.
actually.
I was watching a little pushing match there between Drake Jackson and 38
I know
Bradley Watson, but they broke it up very neatly. No problem.
You know that old coach I was talking about, Joe Jagger, said 4 + 4 + 4 is what? First down.
First down.
So I mean, and Joe was a heck of a football coach. He took a North Hardin program that hadn't won anything at any time and turned them into a perennial contender down there in the western part of the state.
2nd and 6. They go off Jackson's side, and Burnaby's going to get close to a first down. I think he needs about 1.5 yards.
Yeah, and I tell you
It'll
what,
be third
though,
down.
number 31 for Nelson County, he took the brunt of Amir Burnaby. He came high. Amir lowered that shoulder, and he's a little worse for wear here on the near side.
I think our fans can see over there.
Yeah.
It's more than 1 yard here. It's almost 2.
Yeah, it's closer to 2. But I think you're in 4-down territory right now because we're under 5 to play after this play is run.
Thurman, handoff back there to Jalen Washington, and second effort was going to get him the first down.
Hey, they went bowling ball back there. They had Burnaby as the fullback, Washington lined up as the I-back.
You think he had the first down originally, Derek?
He was going to be close.
I don't think he was going to make it.
But that second effort got him definitely the first down right at the midfield stripe. And this offensive line starting to move the pile again.
Mm-hmm.
But Washington, I tell you what, man, you throw Washington and Burnaby down there at the fullback spot, you got about, total about 10.5 feet of height. Because neither one of them are over 5'6". Neither one of them. But they're strong as
Blitz coming from the corner, and Thurman's going long. He's got Depp out there, but it's underthrown and knocked down by number 28, Jawan McKnight, one of the co-captains tonight.
Yeah, nice play.
I think Thurman's a little bit out of his range on that one because the ball tends to hang when he throws it about 50 yards.
And I'll tell you why, Mac. At times he throws off that back foot instead of stepping into the throw like you do when you're throwing to, if you're an infielder and you're throwing to first base or something. He steps into it and lays it out there, D. Now, a great position by McKnight, though. He was right stride for stride with D.
2 out of 4 tonight for Thurman, 27 yards. 2nd and 10, handoff inside, gets it to Trey Winkfield. He'll get about 5 before he is taken down by Hopper, number 6. And that'll be 3rd and 5 coming up as Winkfield now continues to add to his total.
Was season high is 180. It was 198 back in the game against
West
Jessamine. So he's at what, 170 now, 168, something like that.
161, I believe, unofficially about 161.
Give it to him again.
Richards wide to the right. Winkfield down the slot left, and Depp is far to the outside. Washington the lone setback. They fake to him, and Thurman's going to run the option himself. He picks up the first down. And he's inside the 40 to about down to the 36-yard line where Willie Moore for Nelson County comes up with a stop.
That was quote-unquote zone read. Really not the true zone read where you stick the ball in the back's midsection and ride it like you would do in the triple option. Trey just kind of stuck it out there, a half-hearted fake, and brought it around the left side.
It's a great play call. We haven't seen that since early in the first half.
Yeah.
Did you expect it on that play?
Well, I thought maybe when I saw Washington back there, I thought maybe they may set up a screen maybe to Washington, but really nice play call upstairs from
All
upstairs.
right, they put Winkfield in the slot left, and Depp is wide to the right. Now Winkfield goes in motion, and they hand it to him, and they're going to get the outside here. Burnaby with the block. Winkfield is almost to the 30 before being taken down.
Might be at the 30.
And there's a late flag. There's a late flag. Beckley brought him down.
And I'll bet you anything, it's a personal foul on Woodford.
And there's an injured Woodford County player.
That's
Looks
Winkfield.
to be D-Depp.
Is that Winkfield?
No, it's Depp.
That's Depp.
No, it's Richards. I think I saw number 7.
Oh, I don't see Richards on
I
the
think it
field.
might be Cramps, though.
It is. Could be Winkfield. Because I don't see Winkfield up. There's Winkfield. There's Trey.
Darren, was that? I've already forgotten who carried the ball.
Trey.
Okay.
The other Trey. Trey Winkfield. Yeah.
And he got about 5. So it'll be 2nd and 5 coming up at the Nelson 31. Apparently no flag on the play.
There is a flag. It's over there at the 40, between the 42 the 32 and the 33.
It's a personal foul. And it's against Woodford County.
Told you.
And I think it's against Winkfield. I think maybe, well, I better not say, but I thought maybe I saw him throwing a little elbow as he got up.
Well, I'm getting tired of this. Number one, of the team. But number two, I'll go back to the Franklin County game. I saw several instances where Franklin County was woofing at Woodford players and never got called for it, taunting or anything like that.
Well, Woodford, when you establish a reputation, you make them. You kind of cut corners on the rules a little bit and see if you can get Woodford County to overreact to something.
I agree, but you got to have the rule book applies to both teams. Now Woodford has gotten that reputation. You got Dennis Johnson out there talking to the official, and he, but just looking at him shrug his shoulders. Now I tell you what, I passed the officials coming in. Okay, when I went back out to find the athletic director here, and I will tell you this: their comments were they were looking for numbers in white.
Well, it's a 15-yard penalty. It's now 1st and 19 from the Nelson County 46-yard line. Thurman, he's going back to pass. Good protection, and he missed his man over the middle. That was Jonathan Colley, the tight end, at about the 35-yard line. Justin Moore on the coverage.
Well, it was
and
thrown.
It'll be 2nd down, or 3rd down.
It was thrown in the right spot. Now, I don't see how it's 3rd down.
The run.
That was on a 1st down.
Yeah, and now the incomplete pass makes it 3rd down.
No, unless they called it a dead ball.
They did call it a dead ball. He got his 5 yards, and they pushed off from there.
Wow.
It's 3rd down at about 19. Thurman in. Back to pass he goes. Rares back and throws. It is a little bit turned around Graham Kane at about the 20-yard line.
I see one.
Graham was expecting it inside, and he threw it to the outside shoulder.
Well, every pass pattern we've run here tonight has been down the field, except for the short drag across the middle of the field to the tight end, Jenkins, in the first half. Why not go ahead and throw something short and use your athleticism here?
2:58 to go in the 3rd quarter. Clock stopped on the incompletion.
And again, a penalty at a critical time hurts Woodford. And I didn't see it, to be honest with you. Did you have the glasses on it?
Well, I thought I saw maybe Winkfield with an elbow as he was getting up, but it could have been a reaction to something that was said.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm looking at number 89 on the far side, or 28, the corner. Looked like he lined up all sides for Nelson.
Penalty against Woodford County, a 5-yarder. Now, is this to give room for the punter? I don't think so.
Somebody flinched on the far side.
So now it's back at the Woodford County 49-yard line, and Thurman is back to punt. Back deep for Nelson County is Justin Moore, the guy who caught the touchdown pass tonight.
The young freshman over here.
Thurman rolls it over. Moore will get away from it, and that might have rolled a little bit more.
Actually, I think it was getting ready to come back towards.
Now, who was that? Just as I put the glasses on, was it Mix?
Mix.
Ryan Mix?
Yeah.
At the 17 is where Nelson County will take over. 1st down and 10 with 2:47 left to go in the third quarter, and Woodford County still leading by that halftime score of 21-6. Nelson County has scored twice in this half, but have both of those touchdowns have been called back by penalties. And Woodford County will take the timeout. So we have 2:47 left on the clock here in the third quarter, and Woodford County leads it over homestanding Nelson County 21-6. We'll be back here on PrepSpin.com. Nelson County 1st and 10. Lavorne, the quarterback, he's been right on target with a number of his passes tonight, Darren, including the touchdown pass, but he's had some really bad passes too. Lavorne throws it back to McMillan. He sheds the tackle and sidesteps. He's at the 25. He looks like Winkfield. Look at him go! He's at the 50, and he will score!
Well, what did I tell you?
83 yards by McMillan.
What did I tell you about Jonathan Colley? Continuing to go high to try to knock the player out instead of making a great form tackle. He's in great position to make the tackle. Bend your knees, drop your hips, and explode through the running back. You cannot go high.
How about those hips by McMillan?
Well,
he shed a tackle right
Colley.
at the beginning by Colley.
But he went high. Colley went high, and you cannot do that.
And I'll tell you, that was some kind of run there by McMillan, Christian McMillan, with the 83-yard touchdown run.
Look here, you've dominated this ball game, and right now you're in for a dogfight the next 14 minutes.
Okay, it's going to be a 2-point conversion attempt since they missed the extra point on the touchdown just before halftime. They put 3 receivers left, and Boone is in the backfield. They fake to Boone. Here's Lavorne, and he's brought down. So it remains a 2-score distance. Now a 9-point swing. It's 21-12. Woodford County on top, and that was huge. Stopping that one was huge.
It was huge.
It's now still a 2-score game.
But you have given them a glimmer of hope because you forgot all of a sudden how to tackle again. You're going high.
You got to break down.
I don't care.
You got to break down and throw your shoulders.
How many times the couple of years you coached with us at the middle school did you hear Coach Carr just absolutely scream at the top of his lungs? I've got him break down.
Yep.
And if anybody's been around Coach Carr Sr., you know he can scream.
You don't run standing up. You break down and go for the midsection.
Get your butt down, level to the ground, and then bring your hips and explode through and wrap the arms. Colley had a great shot at him, but he stayed high, and I don't care what back you are. If you got any kind of balance, you can shed a tackle that's high up around the shoulders.
And the coaches also say the one place they can't fake you is the belly button.
Well, I mean, in basketball,
it can't shake.
Yeah.
It can't, if you aim for
he
that,
can
it's
shake
not
everything
going anywhere.
else. He can shake everything else, but he cannot shake that belly button. It's always in the same spot.
All right, Nelson County now down by 9, 21-12, and Woodford County now has to start generating. They have generated offense, but penalties have been their undoing so far. And there's a great play on special teams there to cover the ball.
Good job of covering, but an even better out Zion Higgins there. He came in and immediately covered his teammate,
Brody McCown,
to make sure McCown didn't get a helmet or something to the back. That's your backup quarterback right now.
Yep. That was a good play to do that.
Now somebody said, well, why would Higgins do that? Well, it's philosophy. You're giving up yourself for your teammate who is a backup quarterback. Now, Higgins has been playing a lot on defense here in the last couple of games now. We need to stick this thing in the end zone.
Yep. Yeah, it's not that we haven't moved the ball in the second half, but our penalties are continuing to plague us.
We're going a little power eye look here.
Yep. Burnaby Stork has now entered the backfield, and Jalen Washington is the tailback. They give it to Jalen, double skinning it, and he's going to get to the 46.
We've gone heavy.
It's about 5.
We've gone heavy.
So Jalen Washington gets about 5 yards on that one, out to the jack at 46. It'll be second down and 5.
Would this be our version of the jumbo package?
Probably. Woodford County now. We're under 2 minutes to go here in the third quarter, which I guess if you're trying to hold on to a lead there, and the third quarter has seemed to be very long.
We've gone nobody wide, double tight, Smack.
Full house backfield again, and Thurman's under center. He gives off in there. Good blocking ahead. There's Washington. He's in the clear. Stiff arm down to the 20, and it'll be 1st and 10 from the Nelson County 20. Great blocking ahead of him, and then he used his power.
At the 29, and I'm telling you what, again, it was a late flag. That's horrible. That's horrible. If he calls that on Washington, that's terrible.
On a stiff arm?
Yes, sir.
Oh, my gosh. They never call that. It's against Nelson County. I guess he pointed the right way. He pointed the right way, so it'll be at the end of the run.
Because when Washington hit him, he hit him right up under the earpiece.
You don't call face mask on
you can, but if you lock your hands down. Now, he had the open palm, but he hit the defender in the side of the helmet.
Is that a 5-yard penalty?
That looks like he did, but, boy, what a huge hole he
hit. Is it a 5-yard penalty?
Yeah.
So 36-yard run plus the penalty. It's now down to the Nelson County 13-yard line. Handoff in there. Washington off right tackle, and he'll get inside the 10.
Wow.
Down near the 8-yard line. He got about 5 again.
Stork from his up back position, the power eye, took the defensive end and drove him 1 yard from the end zone.
So Washington, who carried 2 times for 7 yards in the first half, now has 53 yards in this ball game, and he's upped it just on this drive. Gets it again, off right tackle. Hopper stood him up, and he'll fall forward to near the 5. It'll be 3rd and goal. It won't be 3rd and goal. It'll be 3rd and 1.
Yeah, about 3rd and 2.5, Mac. Maybe 3.
Well, might we see Trey Winkfield with the...
Oh, no, we're going jumbo.
Okay.
We've gone jumbo.
All right.
How about the hammer?
So a 3-yard pickup by Washington.
How about 35 carried him one time?
Okay. How about it?
How about 35?
It'll be 3rd and 2.
I think I like that nickname for Amir.
Does Woodford County try to get
the hammer?
Does Woodford County try to get the touchdown here?
Oh, yes.
Would they even settle for a field goal?
No.
They don't have to. Washington.
How about walking in?
Big Jumbo goes in for the touchdown. Washington from 5 yards out, and Woodford County gets that touchdown back, and they can add to it with an extra point.
And just methodically moved it right down the field, Mac.
Yep. Well, that got the momentum back to Woodford County's favor.
You're still only 2 scores up.
A 59-yard touchdown drive, and Washington carried every time on that drive. Every time.
And the hammer got a good block.
It was a 5-play drive, and it was 5 rushing attempts by Washington. Kick by Maxton Lippert is good, and the score, well, it's
28-12. It's a 2-score game.
Still a 2-score game.
But you're at 4.8 seconds to play here in the third. So now some kind of sense of urgency comes along with Nelson County. Your defense has to step up if you're Woodford and get you a stop here and get the ball back.
So Woodford County now leads 28-12, but Nelson County, to catch up with 2 scores, would have to score 2 2-point conversions after 2 touchdowns in order just to tie this one up. So that was huge. That was huge.
Yeah. But the thing is, Woodford has let Nelson get a glimmer of hope. Mm-hmm. After just thoroughly really dominating that last drive in the first half.
And you can tell McMillan is really running with a lot of confidence now.
Well, what I like about McMillan is as soon as he gets the ball in his hands, he's at full speed.
Yeah.
And he's had to make a lot of his own creativity. And of course, Woodford's helped him a little bit by going high. Mm-hmm. He's a smaller running back. He's a shorter in stature kind of guy, but Runs extremely hard.
We're going for the big play instead of trying to contain.
Instead of just making a good form fundamental tackle, we're trying to go out for the what I call the knockout blow. And you
at this point of the game, you got to play contain. Not try to make the big play, because if you don't make the big play, they're going to get the big play.
And he did. He took it to the house.
Lippert approaches the football, kind of scrums it on the ground there to the 27, picked up by Boone at the 25. Heads to the sideline, the 30, and you hear the third quarter horn go off. That's the end of the third quarter. With the score, Woodford County 28, Nelson County 12. We'll be back here on PrepSpin.com.
Hello, this is Joe Gravitz with McDonald's of Versailles, and we are so lucky to call Versailles Midway in Woodford County home.
Thanks for your support of McDonald's and all that you do to make Woodford County a great community.
Teamwork, family, community, and service. That's what Gravitz McDonald's is all about, and more importantly, that's what this community is all about.
On behalf of all of us at Gravitz McDonald's,
we just want to say thanks.
Okay, we're back. Jalen Washington down run of 5. He was the offense on that drive. Puts him over 60 yards for the county. Now Winkfield past 160 or 70 right now, and Burnaby getting close to 100. And
well, you might be right. That may have been who the penalty was on a moment ago on that offensive drive. May have been on Winkfield, because he didn't come back in the ball game until just now on the defensive side of things.
Lavorne back to pass. He's got a man over the middle. He's getting rushed, and he is caught by the jersey. And we kind of stopped there, didn't we? Colley got him at the 22-yard line.
Eldridge had a hold of him.
And we just seemed to stop and think he was going down, and finally he got some help. So Lavorne is thrown down back at the 25-yard line, which is right at the line of scrimmage.
Well, James Washington put pressure up the middle as well, so Washington's playing well right now.
Yep.
Both of them.
Daniels, let's see.
Now, are they brothers?
63 for Woodford County.
Mix.
It's Mix, isn't it? Mix is now in the middle.
Reyes is on the other end over there.
And here's Washington. He got him again. James Washington fighting off the tackle, sliding off and making the tackle on Boone. He may have gotten back. I think they're going to mark him right at the line of scrimmage.
Now, is James the son of who? Well, you know who he reminds you of, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
Dion.
Yeah. no question.
As big as he's taller. He's about as big, guys, but he's got nifty feet.
Yeah, he does.
Did he wrestle too at one time?
Yeah, he did. Lavorne's throw is complete to Boone. It's not a first down, and it will be 4th down.
That'll be 5 yards short.
That's a 15-yarder. What did I say, Boone on that one?
Yep. No, 14.
Moore, the guy that caught the touchdown pass.
One of the touchdowns,
So a 15-yard play, but it's now going to be 4th down and a little over 5 for Nelson County.
Woodford's manning up, Mac. Richards in the slot here is impressed. Depp on the other side is impressed.
Woodford staying back this time. Lavorne throwing, and he's got it's incomplete. And that will turn the football over to Woodford County. He had his receiver over there. That was Bradley Watson, but it looked like he got into his shoulder pads, didn't it? Yep.
That's why you catch it with your hands out in front of you. And people say, well, that seems to be easier to do that to cradle against your body. No. You got to get your hands out and catch it, because if it gets into your pads, especially if it hits the point of the football, it'll just bounce right out of there as fast as it got there to you.
So Woodford County gets Nelson to turn it over on downs, and now the Jackets have it at the Nelson 40. 10:23 to go, final period, and leading by 2
I tell you.
packed touchdowns because Nelson County would need 2 8-point scores.
Well, I'll tell you, next week
would be their shortest route to tying this football game.
There's going to be a huge challenge for Woodford coming in for homecoming. Man, what a homecoming opponent, huh? Madison Central.
Yeah, they've got one of the best running backs around. And
Javon Walker.
Yeah, Walker.
Got a pretty good quarterback, and been starting for 3 years, too.
Stork is in the backfield in the big guy unit, and there's Emir Burnaby.
Give it to the hammer.
Just tried to bring him down.
Go ahead.
He got 4 or 5 all on his own there. He got stopped at the 36 and battled himself down to the 33. You got to love that kind of effort.
Man, hey, Mac, I was getting you a bottle of water, buddy, but guess what?
There's none left.
Concession stand's closed.
Wow.
They don't want to make any money.
Gain of 6 by Burnaby.
First place I've ever been. The concession stand closed before the game was over.
2nd and 4, and Washington. I think he got too far behind his lead blockers there.
I still don't care. He punishes you when he hits you. Okay, now we're going to scat backs.
So Winkfield is coming back in.
Yep.
Gain was 1 by Washington, so now it'll be 3rd and 3 in 4-down territory here for the Jackets.
Who's 42 for the Jackets, Mac?
That's Jaden Hamilton.
He's into the ball game for the first time tonight.
And he's at a tight end spot on the left side.
He's about 210 pounds, too, isn't he?
3rd and 3. I don't think he's that big.
He looks that big.
And Stork throwing a good block, got a good surge, and that's Trey Winkfield, who has been kind of a missing number here in the second half, as he was in the West Jessamine game, but he got a first down.
I don't know what happened to Amir's helmet, but it went up down by the 15-yard line. Holy cow.
Hopefully his head's not in it, too.
No, I saw that hair flopping. He's okay. His girlfriend's home. He's okay, I promise.
So Trey Winkfield gets an 8-yard pickup and a first down at the Nelson County 26.
Yep, look at our big fullback here. All 150 pounds of Michael Eldridge.
Eldridge, a fullback. Stork in there. They lead block for Winkfield. He is continuing to move, and he has thrown down.
That's another 7 yards.
Tackle was made by 27, Michael Pacina. But it'll be Winkfield, who is
quickly
hitting near 200 tonight. Got 5 on that one. It'll be 2nd and 5 for
Corey George into the ball game now. Number 8.
Tight end.
Yep, going to go tight. That's a pretty good size kid to throw to, too, isn't
Yeah, it is. Jaden Hamilton is one tight end, and Corey George is the other one on the right side.
That's Ernie's boy, isn't it?
Yes, it is. 2nd down.
Dang, Ernie, you're old.
And a counter play in there. Burnaby got knocked off got tripped up a little bit.
Yeah, but he still fell forward.
And he might have gotten a first down.
He's close. Now he's going to be about a yard short, Mac. No, he's going to be about 6 inches short.
Yeah, closer than that, huh?
Yeah.
Down to the 17.
Mistook that football for a lock of his hair flopping around there. I'll tell you what, man, I like that nickname for Amir.
Oh, he got a first down. They say he got the first down.
How about, I like that, the hammer.
The hammer?
You like that?
It's okay with me. It's
Amir
okay with him.
I think he'd love it. Look at this, man.
I think that's Winkfield, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
How about the surge from the offensive line?
Now we get a flag away from the play.
And it's after the play again. Winkfield got to the 14.
Well, Nelson getting a little frustrated because they're just right now being manhandled up front. And you get leaned on by 4, 5, 6, 300-pounders. I think this is on Nelson this time, Mac.
Personal foul. They're actually pointing to the other team this time.
I'm shocked, but I thought it was on Nelson.
Actually pointing.
I think it's on
to the opponent.
The cornerback here on the near side, Mac. I think he got a little frustrated and did a little extra stuff there.
So it'll be about a 7-yard penalty, taking half the distance, and it should be on the 7.
Give it to the hammer.
So 1st and goal from the 7. And they wind the clock, and Woodford County is in control. Here's Winkfield.
He's going to walk in.
Nope. I didn't see it, Darren.
Thurman got it.
Is it Thurman?
Yep.
Okay.
Nice call.
He rode the fake to Winkfield and pulled it, and I went for Winkfield.
Yeah, and I tell you what, that wasn't the old student body right where everybody just quarterback reverses out and all 3 backs get out front and lead. That was a lead ISO out of the power eye look when Stork and Burnaby leading up to the hole, Wakefield followed them up in that hole, and Thurman just pulled it. And
we haven't seen much of Daniel Stork in the backfield, but boy, does he get off.
He is strong.
At the snap of the ball, he is gone.
He is freakishly strong, and I mean, he and Burnaby were moving the pile. I'm going to have to high-five Maxton Lippert tonight.
Yeah,
he's 5 for 5 on extra points.
5 for 5. Might be his first.
Well, we still got 7:21 left.
Might not.
I
think there was one game, Darren.
High school state championship football team today.
Congratulations.
And Kenny, I did hold you out. So there you go. Yeah, well, the thing. Went back and I'm going out in tomorrow night.
29 years.
Hey, who was right?
You were.
If we did, but
coming from the back, county runs the ice is
Stork pancake block there around eight. Defender.
Do you excited getting?
Well, he's had a smaller cast now.
He and Burkers for the take. Thurman dropped it to get a wash down deep. Messina at 45.
He dropped the gaping, and he was getting ready going that direction.
3.
Run the same.
420 full control now, but it wasn't all the time with the third quarter.
Yeah.
2 touchdowns. Nelson County had it. Burnaby have at this time.
Golf by the team. The Piles did.
Got 32. Should be a first down.
Shack going around the golf course.
I have not watched
Lee Cab, but Bedford was, the dirt moves when he's moving. Everybody's just keeps moving.
For Burnaby. Well, is the tailback. Following Stork up.
About 6 more.
And we knocking on.
He's close.
Mark him at the 3rd.
Dennis, how close Dennis had it, or West Jesp 107 the single game for that last year back to county. A few more carries.
Didn't get. Was he dominant?
Well, he had first carry right up the gut.
Spun around, and he's got a foot on his feet. It's those churning legs. I'm not got to force me. I have 2 or 3 now because I'm not.
The rushing in a single at 6:01 against Montgomery was in, but you have to. Woodford's had some.
As a 19 field,
he's got to be.
I think he's real. 1st and 10. Thurman run. He cut inside the 15. That's a 5. Block continued at friendly. At 2:30.
28 for on the left.
Gate, is that?
I thought sure. Brennan through that.
So Brennan.
It might it's line. Can't tell. Offside, yeah. Okay.
And
younger brother of the played soccer.
I don't know. Who carried that one?
Well, I tell you,
they're just putting a whip.
And the thing is, if they can do this week, we may have winners back and a the rushing record with 2 in that 40.
Yeah. Official, then he
third down or
Woods never got to meet with. About 1 thrown in and have a
flag 12 yards away from get it.
I thought he
was throw it 5 way up in there.
Stop it right where you.
when
it's not a spot. Burnaby, the close get from point B as it be proved it there. Burnaby.
Woodford's now got the scoring average of. It's 41 to 38, wasn't it?
So Burnaby tonight.
Get up here.
Brody McCown and Lippert. And it's Lippert tonight.
Both of my know
points.
I know his mom, Miss Hale, a long time cafeteria, and holds her breath. Max runs up.
He was, but this.
Well, wins and losses have won. It's not been any close.
Even 19-7 in the third quarter.
We looked very good.
Things up to that point.
But I keep playing. We get on. Oh,
you mean we wait?
Like good. Screw this up, man.
We're back. Our
score up there.
Yeah. Don't trust the video.
It is in each frame.
County at its 30 and 10. Lavoie does, but he's got 4 wrong rush pocket and through that's. And he's still two before Woodford knocks Kane. Yeah, that was great. And
Graham and Lee apart. Look at the white tape on the outside. Does not.
There you go. Horn gets away in the backfield once on the pop that time and he's run with the ball.
Burgess had a down and also Jackets. So
It'll be second and Lavorne again throws. Got a lot of room out 3 yards after the 5-yard line. More.
And Higgins hit the ball or budged.
Well, the Knight will with that yard line and rush his feet. And does. That'll be it.
Make a cut in his feet.
So time Nelson County 5 is Lavorne, and we are Knight. A little bit of a skate quarter late in the score was swell, but still is more than 4 late.
Yeah, the Jackets, Kentucky games taking the foot off and become guys of Nelson to package. Double tight, power eye set, really ran the ball pretty much all year. I mean, against a team, a nice North Bull time this season to work next week. Ratchet, not just Tills, Martin, who is a 4, I've actually known years now. Tutored also by as his Trey buddies and Trey going down at football camp. He was being tutored by pretty good company. I'll throw the football at Alabama. Of course, Alabama, will take a hit because road and those two, and one that you against North Bull. The fact that what do you do? You are turning the ball 25 yards. Can't a very short field game. Or did they? In that did what they did here. I believe they do need to work on these. The holding penalty on somebody that thing. I don't mind. You really lost focus. What I can't have in the unsportsmanlike penalties that you as a player don't control it and time on the field all player you are. Okay, we're guaranteed what I on the road for the first playoffs because you're going to go to Cuffy Heights. Now, what do you want? Right. Now, this Highland here, yes, they're only, but can they road in their game? I've been competitive at home. Kind of start. Although this coming Catholic with Eddie F, guy can coach, he about him and 2 district up there. Does Scott see that? We'll look at
since they changed.
Yeah, it's kind of really be a 4 Covenant Catholic. Really, the only 6A team in that district that hit 5A, 6A schools. And then next, a lot of you'll have sneaking up on.
Who is it?
The Nick, quiet as a mouse, me to death. Ooh-wee. I can't remember me.
No, you're not.
But look, he reminds you of this. Pat Marino. He says we see somebody looks like everybody looks like somebody else. I swear I forgot what I was talking about. Nice job. But the schedule, but next is Central. That's you go back with 6A. We were home at Henry Club Creek. Go farther back than you can't state championship. This is going to be it probably scheduled till we get to.
I can feel.
Well,
we had yards just in non-Winkley else. No. Okay, so 9 yards. Scored once tonight.
I can remember.
Okay. 26 yards. Trey Winkfield. County had 100.5 by all account. So, what are yards tonight?
At least
27.
And what offensive line did they would do on the challenge of a big front in County.
Unless you took it. Absolutely disciplined. Is that it? Well,
Sam stepping up.
Let's see.
I'll be yawning, buddy. I got a long day tomorrow. While you're doing that, I'm going to really not a long, but we had a real day with Craig Mullins. They get all the traits that back in May. I heard Jason Griefer and I played in the ceremony. Known Craig a long time. It made it tough, ball size, and ceremony. Made a pass along. What's up?
Hey, what's up?
So the connections with just go deep. Under coach, we have 4 guys right now. Dover was one conference last year. Remember the other 2 guys over there? I can't remember them. Young ladies go over.
And others.
We have several playing football. We have a young lady going to Union to play here. So we have Kentucky. It does talk about the UK, Western,
Alabama,
and whipping defensive linemen. But that's the thing. All these sports, if you're going to Lindsey Wilson, where Kentucky, Wesleyan, Eastern, or what level you're at is, if you're playing, thank you're lucky, tough get into the college sport. Get all the demand.
Well, actually, tonight Trey Winkfield, 209 yards. You put all the rocks like 9 yards for Woodford County on there. So
and you take away at the end of play too, sort of 500. hey, we're going to have to run the Friday night because it's going to be great. So there is a big over at the pavilion. It is that is Betsy is more scared of her. I have different classes. I don't have a clue.
And
Get on Facebook and she has all. I do know.
Let's review the score tonight. And
hurry it up. We're hungry.
It scored first drive a 50 up by Winkles over 200 extra point. Nothing. Next drive, Nelson County, and then it looks 10 play 80 yards. Yard out to nothing with 9 in the first half. It's made it 20 with 1-4 on a 9-yard. Who wins tonight? We talked Trey being over 100 tonight. 21 to 9 just before half to go. For Lavorne, we're in the back of the end. Nelson County life. That's the way it ended. Darren, and that's that one drive. Nelson County.
Very rare to see board on the same drive.
That drive, it was D-Deption zone. Long time after that score, 3-yard touchdown, the most picked tonight. That 12, and at that point, even we're still down. But Jalen over that next drive, 50-some yard, bring on a 5-yard, 28 to Woodford County, adding a couple-yard run by 7:21, then capping a second touchdown, 18 yards out with Lippert's extra 42, and Nelson 3-2 Jackson County.
Yeah, big game next. Everybody come out for the first 3 week community stadium. In Woodford, are huge. Seems to bring fans with everybody else. Should be a dance. I think if football can pretty much all think stay very, very. It's going to limit big play of the football down and score. Woodford will be.
Can't try to make
now against these guys.
Up in the LJ 42 County. Plus on color, McClellan. Their engineer is back. So saying so long.